keep solving the math GRE subject 19760. Okay, we see the 56. Okay, so the first one, there exists the c such that log x smaller than c square root of x. So basically, this is ask about about the complexity. So the first one is correct. Since the log x will be smaller than any omega x alpha for alpha from 0 larger than 0. So basically, this is this is very easy that you can show this is correct. So this is basically common sense. The second, sigma k and k squared k from 1 to n, you can show this is basically 6n plus n plus 2 to n plus 1. So this is basically 6 to n to the cube. And the n to the cube is definitely cannot be suppressed by on squared. So the second is false. So the tricky part is the c. There exists a constant c such as sin x minus x smaller than cx squared cube. So the tricky part is whether this is correct. So you have two ways. The first way is you try to plot the graph and see whether this is correct. But actually, you can use more analytical way to solve this. So let me show how to do this. Okay, so let's suppose f of x, then we can do the derivative. So basically, we use the mean value theorem. F of b minus f of a, f of prime of c, b minus a for some c in belongs to a b open interval. If f is differentiable. Okay, so f of x minus f0 it basically is some cosine c minus 1 times x. So you can add the absolute value at both sides. And that is well smaller cosine c minus 1 x. And then we use cosine, let me shrink. We use the f prime of c minus f of prime of 0 equals the double prime. Some c prime and c. So basically minus sine c prime c. Sine c prime c. And the common fact is that the common sense is, if you know, it's like sine c prime will smaller than c prime. For c prime is positive. So let me write carefully. Sine c prime will smaller than c prime for c prime larger than 0. How to prove this? This is simple. Because sine x minus 0 x minus 0 from the okay, so to prove this, we can consider f of x equal to sine x. So sine x minus sine 0 equals to some c some derivative, so some cosine c times x, but cosine c is smaller than 0, so we have sine x absolute value smaller than cosine x absolute value for all x larger than 0, but because since sine x and x are both odd functions, so actually this inequality satisfied for all real number. So for all real number, we have this one. This is also proved by the bin value theorem. So we plug into this. So remember, this is cosine c minus 1. So cosine c minus 1 absolute value will smaller than c prime times c. So definitely smaller than x squared, since 0x, c and c prime. Plug back into this, you get smaller than x to the cube. So we prove that sine x minus x will smaller than x to the cube by an analytical way. And after that, you can change, since this function is odd function, you can change x to minus x, and all the inequality and proof are exactly the same. So this is true. The third statement is true. So 56, we should choose the first one and the third one. So the answer should be D. Answer should be D. Okay. I will send you see you in the next video.